All right, guys, Armored Core 6. This is not necessarily a game that I thought I would pre-order or play on day one or anything like that. Usually the FromSoft games that I am excited about are just traditional FromSoft games that follow like the Souls formula. This is, they're deviating a lot with this game. It wasn't something I was necessarily super excited for. And then 5 days ago, I saw this gameplay, and now I am super excited for it. So I have some analysis for this gameplay I wanted to talk to you guys about. Usually, this isn't my traditional format of video. Usually, with like new gameplay releases and stuff, I will react to it live. This time, I kind of just want to share my thoughts because I've already seen the gameplay. Just wanted to put my thoughts out there on what I think about it. So let's just get right into it.
Hello, and thanks for checking out the video.
You're welcome.
With this footage, we'll introduce our new mech action game, Armored Core 6: Fires of Rubicon.
Here's the thing about FromSoft game graphics, right? I feel like their graphics aren't necessarily always top tier, like best lighting engine or anything like that. But I do think their art design is. So one of the reasons I find FromSoft games to look so good is not necessarily because the renders of the art or whatever are in the highest quality possible, or they have the most like detailed facial details or anything like that. I love the games because they follow a very unique art design usually. It's very original, and it really kind of pulls you into the world. And I feel like they're doing a similar thing with this game. So while this might be a cutscene, and I don't think this is rendered in-game right here, it still looks really good because they have a specific art style that they're trying to go for. And we'll see that more and more as we, dive into the gameplay here. But that's why I think FromSoft usually has some of the best looking games out there. Not necessarily in terms of actual fidelity, but in terms of the art design.
We hope it gives you an idea of this title's mood and gameplay. In a future where interstellar travel is commonplace, our story begins in a distant star system on the fictional planet Rubicon 3.
So as they're talking a little bit about lore here, I just want to mention I am a complete noob to this series. I have not played the original games. This is going to be my introduction to the Armored Core franchise.
Our protagonist, an independent mercenary, is smuggled into Rubicon in search of a mysterious new substance known as coral.
Your position is grid 135.
The way the UI is kind of built and stuff, it gives me very much like Nier Automata kind of vibes. That's the only Nier game I played. I didn't play the original Nier games either, but that's the kind of artistic direction I think this game is headed towards.
Off target, but within permissible range. There's a catapult ahead. Use it to close the gap.
This is a very good scene to kind of talk about that artistic choice that I was talking about. Like this, obviously this isn't the most detailed image that you would find in the best video games out there, right? Like whatever this is right here, not exactly rendered in the highest quality. And I feel like even if this was in 4K, it's not going to be like the most texture rich game out there, but the art style is very well done. The lighting might not be the most advanced lighting engine, but it's still well done, right?
Huge multi-layered stages will let players make the most of their AC's exceptional movement and attack capabilities.
That's something I noticed multiple times throughout this gameplay, by the way. They say multi-layer stages. It does seem like the game has a lot of verticality, and I feel like one of the main reasons is because you'll have this kind of jetpack on most of the, I don't know what you call these characters that you play as. So I think there needs to be a certain level of verticality, but I feel like they did a really good job in making sure the spaces were tall enough so that you could have some gameplay freedom, if that makes sense. Mechs. Not characters, mechs.
Time to fly, 621.
This looks so cool. So I just want to point something out here when I first saw this. Notice like when he lands, there's a lot of detail in terms of how this particular mech settles down and these, I don't know what this called, like this engine or whatever this part of the mech is like cooling down and stuff. What I'm curious about is, obviously there's a lot of customization to the mechs, right? What if I had a very different looking mech? How would that landing kind of look? Is there a different kind of level of detail for each mech? Because that would be a lot of work they would have to put in. But I thought that looked really cool, and then, you know, my curiosity kind of took off, and yeah, I'm curious as to how much detail there is in these like small animated cutscenes. I don't know if this is a cutscene necessarily, but you know, non-playable scenes. Like you see how the little engine thing went in and then the cover latched on top there. I wonder what that would look like for different kinds of mechs. Game looks beautiful. Okay, so first thing is I want to kind of touch on is the UI. Most games, like Red Dead Redemption 2 or any other open world game, or even like linear games like Uncharted or The Last of Us, I do not like a lot of UI to get in the way. One of the main reasons is I want to just focus on the world. I want to focus on the gameplay, especially on like a second run or like a third run when you don't really need the UI. I'll just turn it off and I'll kind of just try and immerse myself into the gameplay. I feel like initially when I saw this, I thought the UI was too much. When I saw this 5 days ago, I was like, whoa, they're going way too hard on the UI. This is way too much screen space taken up. And then I thought about it. I took the weekend to think about this. And that's one of the reasons I didn't put this video out immediately, because I wanted to process some of this stuff. Something that I've changed my opinion on is how bad the UI is, right? Because I don't think it's bad anymore. I think it makes sense for the game this is. Because since you are a mech, obviously there would be a lot of AI elements, I guess, in play. That almost makes it more immersive. Because if let's say you're like a character in Pacific Rim. It was like the movie about those really big mechs. As someone inside one of those mechs, you would see a lot of UI elements if you were the person in the mech fighting, right? And I'm kind of approaching this game in a similar fashion. Since this is such a robotic world, there would be a lot of UI elements in play. And I feel like it almost adds to the immersion at this point. But initially, I didn't like it. But having thought about it, having the weekend to process it, I think it looks good.
Overwhelm enemies with up to 4 weapons simultaneously, equipped to each arm and shoulder.
This is nothing new, but I do love the destruction elements, all the trees falling down, all the particle effects. Elden Ring did this really well. I remember in the initial lake that you come across, there's a dragon that flies down and you have to fight the dragon. The dragon breathes out a bunch of fire and it like burns down a lot of the trees. So I know FromSoft has some experience with environmental destruction, and I feel like it's taken to another level with this game.
Front. If we get in the way of our work, eliminate them.
That's cool. When he reloaded, the clip stayed on the ground there.
Picking up signals from AC Rex.
Smoke effects look
Follow the
okay.
markers.
Subpar, but you know.
Assault Boost
do
is
the
one of
trick.
the core abilities at
This
your
is
disposal,
cool.
used for both traversal and combat.
Yeah, that's something I think this game's done really well so far based on the gameplay I've seen, is almost like this Iron Man kind of mobility options, right? You can boost super far really fast if you really need to. There's also smaller movement options that you have if you want to be in the air still but not go as far. And I like that you have that level of range with your mech. So I really like that mobility aspect of the gameplay.
Did you hear anything about what the Corps are up to?
Yeah, they'll be coming soon. You got us on the run. We're being attacked!
Identified AC! Return fire!
I like the melee thing he did there. That makes me wonder, could you have like a fully melee-oriented mech?
Take full
Or do you
advantage
have
of
to have
your
a
AC's
mixture?
mobility to freely navigate the environment.
That's like Iron Man, it's cool. Mobility options are awesome.
Use boost to take the fight to the air, extending combat dimensions beyond the 2D plane.
Is that an independent?
Yeah, so the mech the player is using in this gameplay demo, it seems like this mech is very balanced, like a lot of long range stuff, also a lot of close range stuff, like he does a melee there, but you can also like fly away and shoot missiles and whatnot. I wonder if you have to have both options, or if you can do just melee, or just long range, or just medium range. I know there's
Use
going to be a lot of
vertical catapults to
customizability,
gain
but
even more altitude and launch into the action from above.
okay, that was pretty
And
cool
launch
too. That's
the
something I
game
wanted to
even-
talk about. I like that they implemented the environment to mix with the mobility that your mech will have. I feel like stuff like that is important for you as the player to be sucked into the world, right? Use your environment to make your mech even more efficient.
Use vertical catapults to gain even more altitude and launch
Actually-
into the action from above.
I think Assassin's Creed usually does that really well, like using the environment to traverse buildings and whatnot. So, I like that they're doing that here. The scale of this is so cool, and FromSoft has always been really good at scale. But when I first saw this, I was like, man, that's awesome. Because usually in FromSoft games, the
Against tougher
bosses are on the
enemies,
ground,
deal
right?
impact damage to their attitude control system to temporarily put them out of action. This is called stagger. Any attack received in this state
Stagger
is considered a
mechanics.
direct hit, dealing heavy damage.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk a bit about this customizability here. Yeah, see, in the right arm unit, what I'm seeing is mostly just guns. Like, can I have a
Assembly
melee?
lets you exchange various parts of your AC at will, including weapons, frame parts such as the head and core, and internal parts for power management.
And maybe you guys can answer that question, right? Can you have a fully melee character? It might not even make sense in this game. I haven't seen enough gameplay to really know, but yeah, if you guys know, let me know in the comments.
Assembling an AC to fit your own playstyle and strategy is crucial to success.
Those are cool. I wonder how like there's a tank one here. I wonder how like the flight and whatnot will be with like the leg parts looking like this. Really cool in terms of customizability though. You could be bipedal. You could have 3 legs or 4 legs. Or are those both 4 legs? I couldn't tell. It's cool.
Got a job for you, 621. This one's a request from the Arquebus Group.
Raven, this request comes from Schneider, an Arquebus subsidiary.
Okay.
The mission will take place in the Bonadea dunes of Western Bellius. Our coral investigation there is being blocked by the Strider, a Rubicon Liberation Front mining ship. You are to destroy it. The Strider is a mobile resource base that was extensively weaponized by the Liberation Front. Call it the crowning glory of their efforts to militarize into an anti-corporate force. Your attack will focus on the Eye, a giant laser cannon connected directly to the main generator. It's protected by a shield, which is powered by auxiliary sub-generators. These should be your first targets.
I do hope there's a lot of depth in every mission as there is for this one. Because when you're playing a game like this, I feel like repetitiveness can really become distracting. So if there's a good amount of depth in every level that you partake in, I feel like that's going to help keep players addicted. If they start losing that level of depth and it's kind of like the same thing again and again, and I'm not saying that it's going to be, because this looks very detailed, right? I just hope it's like that for every mission.
Concludes the briefing. Good luck.
Time for a little self-promotion, 621. Smash the Strider, and Arquebus HQ will be sure to remember your name.
Main system activating combat mode.
Already, I love the variety in like the mission locations. I like that this location looks significantly different from the previous one.
Commence mission.
Lots of particle effects too, by the way. In the last one, there was a lot of snow particles. In this one, there's a lot of sand particles.
First, get through all that dust and make contact with the Strider.
Here, we're up against an enormous weapon that eclipses our AC in size.
Unidentified agent. Must be one of the corporation's dogs. Activate the eye. Move them away.
By the way, something I noticed was this mech has like blue flames for its boost systems. The other one had like orange and yellow standard fire looking flames. Good detail. I love the level of customizability I'm seeing here. Visual customizability is not something I have an issue with. It's the gameplay customizability that I'm kind of worried about. Ideally, I would want like to be able to build like a sniper specific mech if I wanted to. But that might not necessarily fit with the gameplay and the world that they've kind of tried to build here. So we'll just have to see. Destruction looks amazing. Fire effects when things blow up look really good. They look like the Just Cause 3 fire effects.
You need to take out one of its legs to bring it to a halt.
I love the scale
Leg
of this.
compromised. It's going down. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Alright, now we've got a foothold to get on the deck. Grab on and get to work on the sub-generators.
Great. An independent merge.
Yeah, I see snow effects in this map.
Taking care of some free lift.
Who gives a shit? We'll handle this mission ourselves.
Some missions will see you partnered up with ally ACs.
Target destroyed.
Well, us free red guns are gonna go climb the wall. This is just target practice. When we're done, locals.
I'm very interested in the lore for this game, and I'm curious if it's going to be as hard to understand as like the Soulsborne games. Like clearly there's a lot more voice acting in this game, right? Like when you have allies with you and whatnot. And I'm comparing this to the Soulsborne games. Obviously, like in Bloodborne, you don't have an ally fighting with you the whole game. So unless it's like an online player or whatever. So I'm curious if like the lore is going to be very straightforward, and it seems like it is so far, or if it's going to be like you're going to have to read like the item descriptions and whatnot to kind of put together different pieces of the story. And I almost prefer that because I feel like I have to put more thought into it. But I mean, there's also games that, you know, hand you the story on a silver platter, and I like games like that as well. Like God of War is very story driven. Obviously, I love that game. But I wish I hope that FromSoft kind of stays close to their roots in terms of how the story's put across. And if they want to hand you the story on a silver platter, that's fine, as long as they also have like the depth with the item descriptions and whatnot.
Code 7-8, requesting backup. I can't get through to HQ.
I love the fire effects.
The cavalry isn't coming. Wipe them out, 621.
Your mission objectives will range from protecting targets and information gathering to the annihilation of enemy forces.
The shock effects and electric effects look good too, but like the fire effects are just so stunning.
Attacking a watch point. You're incorrigible, Handler Walter.
Yeah, like there's so much more
How many of
dialogue
your
than
dogs must I
their usual
kill
games.
before you learn? Blood. I hear you make fine hounds with the right training.
Oh, this is a cool boss fight.
Shame you'll have to die here.
2 repair kits remaining.
Like not the best water effects, but who cares,
As
you
your
know?
campaign progresses, you'll face a number of dangerous situations. And often
I
be
love the
pitted
setting,
against
though.
rival AC pilots in bitter duels.
Wonder how
Keep
long the
pressure up
game
in
is
these
going to be.
intense battles. Don't give the enemy a chance at victory.
Whoa, what is that? I've already seen this.
Formidable boss encounters also await you at the end of certain missions. These fights are fast and aggressive, presenting a challenge for even the impossibly powerful AC. By observing the enemy's movements and tells, the player can learn as the battle unfolds.
This looks like relatively difficult. Difficulty was something else I was curious about.
Will often provide the first step to overcoming even the most daunting
Like this
foes.
looks like it's going to be quite hard, almost like a bullet hell game. Reminds me a lot of
Invite players
Returnal.
to
If
take on
Returnal
this
had
one
more
for themselves
verticality.
and see what else awaits. Thank you for watching. That concludes our introduction to Armored
It's
Core
coming
6
out in August,
Fires
right?
of Rubicon. We appreciate your continued support and look forward to seeing you at launch.
World design looks great. Gameplay mechanics look great. The few things that I am worried about are like how repetitive it's going to be, and the depth of RPG mechanics like customizability and how the leveling system's going to work, stuff like that. All in all, like this gameplay definitely changed my mind in terms of how excited I was about the game. And I feel like that lack of initial excitement was mostly due to me not knowing anything about the series. This looks cool though. They're almost like Transformers with the level of detail in terms of how they're like different parts are moving and connecting with the other parts, and looks cool. Yeah, so what do you guys think? I don't want to make this video too much longer. 13-minute videos turned into almost a 30-minute video now. So let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any objections to what my thoughts are, let me know what those objections are. And if you could answer some of my questions, I mean, I was curious about a lot of things, like if you know anything about the level of depth in terms of customizability, let me know if you can have like a fully melee character. That's something I'm curious about, because the reason I'm asking is that increases replayability, right? And you don't want your second playthrough to be exactly the same as your first one. And repetitiveness is kind of a concern of mine right now. So depending on how long the game is and whatnot, obviously. But yeah, so let me know if you know any answers to any of those questions that I had. And if you liked the video, leave a like. If you disliked the video, that's okay too. Leave a dislike. Let me know why you didn't like it. I'll try and improve on the next one. And if you like this kind of content, maybe leave a subscribe. And the reason I did a different kind of video for this is, like I said in the beginning, I wasn't expecting to like this game, right? But this gameplay really did change my mind. I mean, this looks really cool. Usually I like customizability. That's like one of my favorite parts of most RPGs, is the level of customizability there is. That's why I'm looking forward to Baldur's Gate so much. And this gameplay kind of showed me that you can have a lot of customizability. I am curious as to exactly how much, but this is a game I'm definitely excited for now. And yeah, I'll try and do more like reaction kind of videos in the future. But like I said, I wasn't expecting to watch this video and kind of have my mind change. So yeah, until next time, guys, take care. Bye.